Julian Wheeler sneered, his full weight pressing down on the concrete beam that pinned me. His voice was a shard of ice. "Give me a break, Rosalie. You think I don't know you? You've already found a safe spot. Who do you think you're fooling with this little act?" He stomped his feet for emphasis, sending a shower of fine, gritty dust raining down on my face. The agony of splintered bone ripped a scream from my throat. I tried to shield my stomach, a futile gesture. I already knew. My baby was gone. Julian lifted Sybil, his precious Sybil, beside him on the very beam that trapped me. "The earthquake must have terrified you," he murmured, his tone soft and almost tender as he spoke to her. "Don't worry. I'm here now." Sybil Bristow, delicate and striking even in fear, clung to him. "Julian, I was so scared," she whispered through tears. "The stones, they scratched me. What if I'm scarred? What if you don't love me anymore?" He brushed her tears away. "Never. No matter what happens, you'll always be the most beautiful woman in the world to me." Then his gaze flicked to me, sharp and full of disdain. "Unlike this manipulative little act. Clever angle, though. Almost convincing, isn't it?" He kicked the beam deliberately, jarring me further. "Is this another desperate attempt for attention? Just like the first time you threw yourself at me? Well, it won't work. The only one for me is Sybil." Sybil buried her face in his chest, her voice barely audible. "Julian just now." "Rosalie," she tried to push. She left the sentence unfinished, letting his imagination fill the gap. A member of the rescue team, furious and tense, stepped forward. "Get off her now. Move, or you'll kill them both, the mother and the child." Julian laughed, a cruel, grating sound. "A woman like her? She's nothing. Does she think she deserves to carry a Wheeler heir?" Sybil, still nestled in his arms, mouthed 2 words at me, a triumphant smirk on her face. I realized then I had lost. I remembered moments before the tremors hit. Sybil had leaned close, her voice low and venomous. "Let's play a game. When the quake hits, who do you think Julian will save first? You or me?" Then hands shoved me from both sides, forcing me into the open. The rescuer's patience snapped. He opened his mouth to shout, to drag them away. I turned my head, tears finally cutting clean paths through the grime on my face. "Save her first," I whispered. The ground trembled again. Julian scrambled, pulling Sybil from the beam just as another slab of concrete crashed down where they had stood. Pain shot through me, but I held back any cry, biting my lip until it bled. A warm wetness spread beneath me. Julian, safe on the side, sneered again. Impressive commitment to the act. Even the fake blood packet's ready. When you're done, crawl out and beg Sybil for forgiveness. If not, maybe next time I'll show you what being crushed for real feels like. I said nothing. I watched him cradle Sybil like she was made of glass, leading her away from the wreckage. I had no strength left to fight, no fire left in me. I closed my eyes, shutting them both out. A love so twisted was never mine. "Julian Wheeler, I'm done with you. I let you go." When the rescue team finally lifted my broken, bloodied body from the rubble, Julian stood at the edge of the chaos, a cold, mocking smile on his lips. "Bravo," he drawled. "The performance just keeps improving. Now you're using my family's money, or maybe some special effects makeup. So realistic." Pain clouded my mind, a heavy fog that blurred the edges of my vision. Black spots danced across my eyes, and my silence seemed only to enrage him further. He strode forward and kicked the side of the stretcher, sending a wave of nausea through me. I could hear the grinding of fractured bones, each movement searing agony through my body. The rescue team surged to intercept him. "What's your problem?" Julian snapped, shoving against them. "You'd rather waste time on frauds than people who actually need help? Who do you think you are? I'll be filing a complaint." One of the rescuers, face red with fury, stepped right up to him. "Step back, sir. Let us do our job. And if you can't tell a real injury from a fake one, maybe get your eyes checked." That was enough to ignite Julian's temper. With a roar, he kicked the stretcher again, flipping it completely. "So that's your game, Rosalie? Hiring accomplices now. You think this will win me over? Make me look at you differently than Sybil? Dream on." I hit the rubble hard. Wind knocked from my lungs. Every nerve screamed, pain so absolute it stole my breath, but it was nothing compared to the ache inside my heart. My injuries didn't matter. My baby would never see the sky. Only 4 weeks I had with him, and he was gone. Despair washed over me, cold and merciless, as my body began crawling, inch by agonizing inch, away from him. Never again, Julian. I will never love you again. The rescue team wrestled with him, trying to keep him from me. Sybil, of course, seized the moment to perform her own drama, crying and clutching his sleeve. Stop. Please, stop fighting, she wailed, eyes wide with false fear. It's all my fault, Julian. Please don't blame Rosalie. I can't act like her. I'll forgive her for pushing me. Just make them stop. Julian's expression softened at once, and he stroked her hair. You're too kind, Sybil. That's why she always had the power to hurt you. You're the most important person in my world. Who does Rosalie Thorne think she is, hurting you like this? Then his gaze snapped back to me, sharp and furious. Don't worry. This time, she won't get away with it. He shoved the rescuer aside and lunged for me. I'll show everyone how far you'll go just for a scrap of my attention. He grabbed my hair and dragged me across the debris, a thin keening sound escaping my lips, leaving a trail of blood. His laughter followed me, scornful and cruel. Such dedication. Really going to humiliate me in front of everyone. I gave you a chance. Should have taken it. He kicked me again, sending me sprawling. Today we'll see if you're really hurt or just putting on a show. Then a voice cut through the chaos, loud and furious. Enough. Are you even human? I've never seen a man try to murder his wife over some side fling. It was the rescue captain. I lay broken, staring up at Julian's enraged face. My voice was hollow, drained of hope. Just kill me, Julian. Then I'll never have to see you again. For a heartbeat, shock flickered in his eyes before a fresh wave of fury consumed him. He lunged, but the rescue team tackled him, restraining him. I turned my head, tears blurring my vision. His final roar followed me into darkness. You think I want to see you? Fine. Leave. Let's see how long before you crawl back, begging to be part of the Wheeler family again. Pain throbbed in my chest as consciousness returned. Hushed chatter from nurses floated through the room. Did you see Mr. Wheeler? He and his wife are perfect together, one whispered. She just got scratches from the quake, and he's doting on her. Even fed her medicine himself. I opened my eyes, staring at the sterile ceiling. My hand instinctively went to my flat stomach. I didn't need confirmation. My baby was gone forever. Numbness settled over me, a consuming emptiness. For the first time, I longed for death's release. Then Sybil stormed into the room, smug triumph etched on her face. Competing with me? Don't make me laugh. Julian will always love me best, she taunted, leaning close. Compared to me, your life is worthless. Her voice dropped to a whisper, conspiratorial. Oh, and during the earthquake? Julian was so worried you'd hurt me that he personally pushed you out of the way. If I weren't paralyzed in this bed, I would have lunged at her. She laughed, cruel and victorious, before hearing footsteps in the hall. A sly smile touched her lips. Remember, Rosalie, there's only room for one woman by Julian's side. In a flash, she threw herself to the floor, tousling her hair and forcing out gasping sobs. Rosalie, please. Don't hurt me. The door burst open. Julian strode in without hesitation, heading straight for my bed. He slapped me hard across the face. I knew it. I knew you were trying to hurt Sybil again. Venomous snake, aren't you tired of this act? Every part of me screamed in pain. My cheek, my heart, my body. I looked at him, voice flat. I'm paralyzed. How could I have hurt her? His brow furrowed for a moment before he yanked me out of bed. Not done acting? What a performance. Even the hospital staff on your payroll? Seems marrying me has paid off well for you. My body gave way, collapsing to the floor. My head struck the hard tile, blood welling from a new cut. But Julian seized my hair, forcing me to look at him. Sybil is the victim here, because of you. Now get on your knees and apologize. He raised my head, preparing to slam it against the floor. I don't know where the strength came from, but something inside me surged. With a desperate push, I shoved Julian away, the sudden force fueled by pure adrenaline. Julian, I gasped, voice raw and trembling. I'll say it again. I never schemed my way into your bed. If I had that kind of power, do you think I'd be letting this homewrecker walk all over me? A shocked murmur rippled through the crowd of staff and patients gathered in the doorway. Julian's face darkened, purple with rage. You're the one who ruined everything with Sybil. Don't pretend you don't know what you did. If you hadn't manipulated me, she wouldn't have been so devastated that she threw herself into the river that night. She's had health problems ever since. As if on cue, Sybil let out a few delicate, theatrical coughs. I stared at them both, bitter laughter bubbling up despite the pain. The irony was almost too much. When Wheeler Corporation teetered on the edge of collapse, no one in the business world would touch them. It had been his grandfather, the elder Mr. Wheeler, who had come to my family, proposing a marriage alliance to secure a bailout from Thorn Banking. He had insisted on one condition: Sybil Bristow was to have no part in the family. Yet Julian had turned all his resentment on me, painting me as the villain who had torn him from his true love. I met his furious gaze, voice cold as stone. Don't forget, Julian. I'm the one you married. If you truly believe I'm the intruder here, call the Wheeler family elders. Let them officially recognize Sybil Bristow and put her in the family legacy. Julian froze. Sybil's soft voice filled the silence. Rosalie, Julian, please don't fight over me. It's all my fault. I shouldn't have come here. If I'd known you hated me this much, Rosalie, I would have stayed away. It's all my fault. Julian snapped out of his momentary pause and rushed to her side, helping her up with gentle care. Are you all right? This is my fault. You're still recovering. You shouldn't be here dealing with this. Sybil clung to his sleeve, her red-rimmed eyes shining with a single perfect tear. It's my fault, darling. Don't be angry with Rosalie. I shouldn't have exposed her act, made her angry. It's all my fault. Julian's brief guilt vanished, replaced by towering fury directed at me. Rosalie Thorne, he snarled, I will expose your cruel, twisted nature to everyone, right here, right now. He grabbed my hair again, dragging me toward the stairwell. Is your heart made of stone? He bellowed. Sybil is fragile, and you still have the audacity to treat her this way? Get on your knees and apologize to her. If you don't, you'll never set foot in a Wheeler home again. I twisted, trying to break free, voice sharp with defiance. Julian, if you're that blind, see a doctor. You're treating the woman who almost destroyed your company like a treasure. You're the biggest fool I've ever met. His grip faltered briefly, then tightened. You'll do anything for attention, won't you? Now you slander Sybil? A selfish, vicious woman like you doesn't deserve my love. Since you love playing the victim, I'll give you a real reason to cry, and if you get hurt, it's your fault. With a cruel kick to my surgical wound, I tumbled down the stairs. The impact stole my breath. I didn't even have time to scream before I rolled, end over end, hitting the hard steps. I landed in a heap at the bottom, blood pooling beneath me. The sickening crack of my bones echoed through the stairwell, and gasps rose from the onlookers. Julian stood at the top, face hardened into disgust. I can't believe how well prepared you are, he shouted. You really will stop at nothing. The most calculating woman I've ever known. He started down again, kicking my wounded side. You deserve this, Rosalie. You wanted to be sick? Fine. Now you can suffer for the rest of your life. Stop. A voice of thunder boomed behind him. I forced my blurry eyes open, reaching a trembling hand upward. Grandpa. Julian froze, stunned. A team of doctors rushed past the elder Mr. Wheeler, hurrying to my side. They carefully examined the wound, now a gruesome tangle of jagged bone protruding from my skin. The secondary trauma is severe, one doctor said grimly. The stitches are completely torn. If we don't operate immediately, she won't survive. The elder Mr. Wheeler exploded in rage. Assemble the best surgical team in the country. If you fail to save my granddaughter-in-law, you're all fired. Julian stepped forward, panicked. Grandpa, don't believe her. It's all makeup. Props. Look, I'll show you. He reached for one of the bone fragments sticking out of my wound. The sharp crack of a slap echoed in the stairwell. How did the Wheeler family produce a monster like you? Julian froze, hand suspended in midair, staring at my twisted, broken body. For the first time, doubt flickered across his face. Perhaps I wasn't acting. Hidden in the crowd, Sybil saw her protector falter and scurried away, abandoning the sinking ship. Julian scanned the room but couldn't find her. Still, he defended her. Grandpa, she was trying to hurt Sybil. It's her fault. If she hadn't interfered, Sybil never would have jumped into the river. The elder Mr. Wheeler, shaking with rage, brought his heavy cane down on Julian's legs. She jumped because she was caught betraying Wheeler Corporation. If she hadn't acted desperately, what she faced would have been far worse than death. Julian stared, disbelief etched on his face. Grandpa, did she bribe you too? The accusation nearly gave the old man a heart attack. He raised the cane again, ready to strike Julian into submission. The doors to the operating room swung open, and a team of surgeons emerged, their faces tight with concern. One of them shot a cold glare at Julian. The patient is in critical condition. It would be best if the family remained quiet out here, the surgeon said firmly. Then, turning respectfully to the elder Mr. Wheeler, he added, "Sir, the secondary trauma your granddaughter-in-law sustained is catastrophic. We may need additional specialized support. Do whatever it takes," the old man boomed. "Cost is no object. Save her." Julian muttered under his breath, still in denial. "You're all being fooled by her." The lead surgeon gave him a look of pure exasperation. "I'm a doctor. Do you really think we don't know what we're seeing?" With a final, contemptuous glance at Julian, they hurried away. Over the next few hours, the full might of the Wheeler Corporation was mobilized. Coolers of blood were rushed to the OR. The nation's top specialists arrived one after another. Only then did the truth finally seem to penetrate Julian's thick skull. He realized that I had been genuinely, critically injured. Guilt washed over his face, and he sank into a chair, head in hands, completely lost. But his grandfather wasn't finished. A man in a sharp black suit approached him. "Mr. Wheeler," he said, extending a hand, "I'm the lead attorney who handled the PR crisis for Wheeler Corporation years ago. No one knows the truth better than I do." For the entire duration of my surgery, Julian was forced to listen to the unvarnished history of his own ignorance. When I finally woke, my parents, flown in from overseas, were by my bedside. The elder Mr. Wheeler stood with them, his expression somber. Seeing my parents, the dam broke. Tears I didn't know I had left streamed down my face. The old man's voice trembled. "My dear child, you've suffered so much." Our Julian, he was a fool. I looked at him, whispering weakly, "Grandpa, I want a divorce." The door burst open. Julian rushed in. "No, I won't allow it." He stumbled to my bedside, gripping my hand, eyes filled with desperate sorrow. "Rosalie, it was all my fault. Please forgive me. Don't divorce me. I'll do anything for you, anything." I gave him a single, empty look and turned away. I couldn't bear the sight of him. Julian grew frantic. "Rosalie, I won't sign any divorce papers. It was a misunderstanding, a terrible mistake. We can't just end it like this." My father sprang to his feet, face a mask of fury. "A misunderstanding? My daughter lies here, broken because she loved you, and you dismiss it as a misunderstanding?" He turned to the elder Mr. Wheeler, voice low and dangerous. "If this matter isn't settled to my daughter's satisfaction, Thorn Banking will withdraw all capital from Wheeler Corporation. And once we pull out, no other investor in this country will touch you." I reached out a weak hand, tugging gently on my parents' sleeves. "Mom, Dad, I need to speak to Julian alone for a moment. There's something I need to say." They agreed and left the room. Julian's eyes lit with hope, a small, relieved smile touching his lips. "Rosalie, you still have feelings for me, don't you? Will you forgive me?" A dry, mirthless laugh escaped me. "Wouldn't it be better for everyone if I stepped aside and let you be with your precious Sybil? Or do you still find me so repulsive you wish I were dead?" His voice grew strained. "Don't say that. You know it was all a misunderstanding. Rosalie, why didn't you just tell me you weren't acting? If you wanted Sybil gone, you could have said so. Do you think I wouldn't have agreed? What do I have to do to make you believe me?" He paused, comprehension dawning. "I understand now. You hate me because you lost the baby, don't you? It's okay. Once you leave the hospital, I'll make it up to you. I'll spoil you, treat you like a queen. We'll have other children, I promise." I met his gaze, cold and steady, suppressing the raw pain in my heart. "The doctors said that after the initial injury, I might have been able to have children again. But after what you did, the secondary trauma, I can never have a baby." I let the words sink in. "He was only 4 weeks old, Julian. I was on my way to tell you that we were having a baby. But you killed him with your own hands." Julian's face drained of color. He stumbled backward, eyes wide with horror, until his legs gave out and he collapsed to the floor. At that exact moment, a commotion erupted outside. My mother's furious voice mixed with Sybil's pathetic, cloying sobs. "I'm here to see Rosalie. Why wouldn't Julian let me in?" When Julian finally opened the door, Sybil appeared disheveled, hair messy from my mother's assault. She tried to throw herself into Julian's arms, weeping piteously. This time, he sidestepped her with a swift, cold movement. Sybil fell to the floor in a graceless heap, staring up at him in disbelief. Julian, darling, she whispered. He glared down at her. Don't you ever call me that again, you vile creature. I know the truth. Sybil's eyes darted frantically before she forced herself back into her familiar damsel in distress act. Julian, darling, don't listen to Rosalie's lies. She's jealous because you love me. She's trying to drive us apart. Drive us apart? Julian bellowed, his face dark with rage. You're the one who tore me and my wife apart. If it weren't for you, Rosalie would never have been hurt like this. Sybil fell silent for a beat, eyes flicking nervously between us. A new plan formed. Julian, I didn't know she was really hurt. You know how she is, always playing games. How was I supposed to know this time was real? My mother stormed in and slapped Sybil hard across the face. How dare you slander my daughter? I know her better than you ever will. You little witch. Sybil shrieked, but the crowd of onlookers just stared, cold and unmoved. No one came to her aid. Desperate, she turned to Julian, eyes brimming with tears. Julian, darling, you love me most, remember? If she hadn't tricked her way into your bed, I would have been your wife. How can you treat me like this? That was the wrong thing to say. Julian's eyes burned red with fury. He grabbed her by the hair and yanked her to her feet. Don't think I don't know about the drugged drink. You were trying to climb into my bed. If Rosalie hadn't accidentally drunk it, your pathetic little scheme would have worked. Sybil's sobs grew more desperate. No, Julian, it's not true. Don't listen to her. I love you. I jumped into the river for you. But Julian's patience had vanished. He slammed her head against the wall. You jumped in the river because you got caught selling corporate secrets. Do you think you can still lie to me now? Sybil shook her head wildly. No, it's not like that. The elder Mr. Wheeler, who had been silent until now, thumped his cane on the floor. Are you seriously claiming I, the patriarch of this family, am lying? Seeing him step forward, Sybil froze. Every eye in the room, my parents, the elder Mr. Wheeler, even Julian, stared at her with pure, unadulterated loathing. Only my calm, distant expression remained. Desperate, she crawled toward me. Rosalie, please. Save me. I never wanted to hurt you. I just love Julian so much. I turned my head away. I don't want to see her again, I said to my father. Before he could respond, the elder Mr. Wheeler's voice boomed. If it weren't for the memory of your own father, who worked himself to death building this company, a venomous creature like you would have been cast out long ago. Julian stepped forward and, with a final, brutal slap, sent Sybil sprawling, blood trickling from her nose and mouth. Get out, he snarled. Realizing her game was truly over, Sybil scrambled to her feet and fled, humiliated. Julian returned to my bedside, voice soft and pleading. Rosalie, the viper is gone. Please, can you forgive me? I understand now. The person I truly love is you. Give me one more chance. Let me make it right. I looked at him, my heart a placid, empty lake. Not a single ripple. I was the treasured daughter of the Thorne family, heir to a financial empire, yet I had been brought to ruin for love once. I would not make that mistake again. One betrayal is enough. There are no second chances. The world's best medical team surrounded me, painstakingly putting my broken body back together. 6 months passed before I was truly well again. During that time, Julian came to see me every day. He ignored my parents' icy glares, trying to win me over with small gestures and desperate apologies. He treated me as if I were a priceless gem he had nearly lost forever. On the day I was discharged, he was there, begging. Rosalie, please don't divorce me. I truly can't live without you. Even the elder Mr. Wheeler pleaded for him, promising me anything I wanted, even a controlling stake in Wheeler Corporation. I no longer cared for any of it. I sighed and told him the truth. Grandpa, during the earthquake, my injuries didn't have to be so severe. I have a degree in architecture. I knew the safest structural point in that building. I paused. But just as I reached it, 2 people pushed me out of the way. The elder Mr. Wheeler understood instantly. He didn't argue or plead further. As he turned to leave, Julian entered with a hopeful smile and a bouquet of flowers, completely unaware of the cane swinging toward him. The elder Mr. Wheeler's strike caught him squarely on the brow. Blood gushed. Another blow hit the back of his knees. Kneel. Apologize to your wife. Julian sank to his knees, shaking, shuffling toward me. My love, please forgive me. If you hate Sybil, I can make her disappear forever. Just don't divorce me. I promise, there will never be another woman, The elder Mr. Wheeler grabbed Julian by the back of the head and slammed his face into the floor. Is this your idea of a sincere apology? What kind of animal pushes his own wife out of a safe zone? I looked at them calmly. Grandpa, let me call you that one last time. What Julian did to me, I no longer care. It doesn't matter anymore. All I want is never to see him again. My lawyers have already drawn up the divorce papers. This is our last chance for a peaceful separation. If he refuses, no company in the country will do business with Wheeler Corporation again. Goodbye, Grandpa. My parents were waiting at the door. My eyes filled with tears of relief as I ran into their arms, finally free. I was finally home, back with the people who had always truly loved me. I left the Wheeler estate behind, turning my back on all that pain and betrayal. Before I left, I started a fire, watching as the villa, along with every memory of Julian, burned to the ground, turning everything to ash. Julian and I had known each other since childhood. When Sybil's betrayal nearly bankrupted his family, my parents had resisted bailing them out, insisting Wheeler Corporation was a poor investment. It was only because of my love for him that I pleaded with them until they agreed to save his family's legacy. Now, divorced and free, there was no reason to cling to the past. A rose, once crushed by a storm, does not wither. It grows back, its thorns sharper, its blossoms brighter than before. Julian arrived just in time to see the back of my car disappearing into the distance, leaving him in a cloud of dust and smoke. That same day, I bought a plane ticket and left the country. Architecture had always been my passion, a dream I had set aside for him. Now, free of his shadow, I reclaimed the path I had once longed to walk. A year later, I returned as a rising star in the architectural world, my reputation preceding me. I was at a press conference for Thorn Financial's new landmark building when a disheveled woman burst through security, screaming my name. My bodyguards reacted instantly, but I stared at her haggard, crazed face, recognizing Sybil Bristow. Murmurs rippled through the crowd, revealing her story. After Julian had thrown her out of the hospital, his grief and guilt had twisted into relentless vengeance. She had been blacklisted, her accounts frozen, and left utterly destitute. Desperate, she had prostituted herself to survive, contracting multiple diseases. Every attempt to regain her former life failed. Even Julian's hired men made sure she remained a hunted, broken figure. When she saw me at the press conference, triumphant and untouchable, her rage exploded. She lunged at me with a small knife, intent on murder. But the security was swift, and the crowd began filming. Cornered and frantic, she ran blindly into the street. A speeding truck struck her instantly, ending her life in a brutal, final instant. The crowd gasped, whispers spreading, but I felt only release. News of her death rippled online, exposing the full extent of her and Julian's depravity. Even in death, she found no peace. As for Julian, he tried repeatedly to see me after my return. One stormy night, he knelt outside my gate, shouting into the torrential rain, "Rosalie, I truly love you. I was wrong. Please come back to me. I can't live without you." I stood on the porch, dry and unmoved, my gaze piercing. "Give me a break, Julian. Who do you think you're fooling with this little act?" He froze, silence swallowing him. After a long moment, he bowed his head in shame. I looked down at the broken man kneeling in the mud, my voice cold and absolute. "A blade never feels sharp until it cuts your own skin. Julian, the pain you feel now, it's nothing. The agony I endured, crushed under that beam, was 1,000 times worse than this." I turned and stepped back into the warmth and safety of my home, leaving him to the storm. I later heard that Julian fell gravely ill, fever consuming him relentlessly. With Wheeler Corporation bankrupt and his doctors long gone, he was left paralyzed, a shadow of the man he had once been. His grandfather begged me to see him one last time. I refused. The past was past. The final act came when Thorn Financial acquired the land where the old Wheeler Tower had stood, slated for demolition to make way for my new design. On the day of the implosion, crowds gathered to witness it. And there he was, Julian, somehow atop the crumbling skyscraper, a broken man on a broken empire. Dirt and blood covered him as he screamed one final sentence into the sky. "Rosalie, I was wrong. I'll pay you back in the next life." Then he pushed himself over the edge. I watched, impassive. My heart had gone still. I finally understood. This twisted fate was finally over.